Let me see, ask me some easy ones now.
So, we are aware that you are Mr. Terrence Mohammed.
Not for a long time now.
A cultural practitioner for many years, right? Firstly, what's your description of the art form, or in particular dance, as respect to culture?
Well, people confuse art and culture. They say culture, they mean art, right?
Yeah.
And while they are closely related. Because if I ask you, could you define what art is?
Yes.
Go ahead.
I believe the art form is whereby you can express dance, drama, literary art.
Okay, good. But in simple, one sentence, art is a medium for expression and communication. But what you're saying, you could expand on it.
Yeah.
All right. What is the definition for culture? In one sentence. When you talk about culture, what do you talk about?
When you speak about culture, you speak about a country's heritage, a country's expression through the art form.
All right, all the thing, and then the folklore, the food they eat, the way they walk, the way they talk, right? So, in simple thing, culture simply means a way of life. So it covers all of that.
Yeah.
And that is just making appreciate it. But what you're saying is great. But a lot of students come here and they don't know that.
True.
And this should be taught in primary school. You understand? Okay, what are the other questions? Yeah.
At what age did you begin your cultural journey, or what
Well,
stimulated
it started as a
your
child, but I never become practical until I went in my 20s, early 20s.
And what stimulated your passion for the art form?
Well,
or dance
in my
particular?
environment where I grew up. Now, I'm born in Princeton.
Yeah.
My parents lived in Ari Village, which is a agricultural, environmental thing, you know, near an estate, which is Magnitude Estate, where sugarcane was the main crop. So I'm from a very agricultural background, like maybe you in Pinal.
Yes.
My father was an imam. You know what's an imam?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
A Muslim priest.
Right. And what imam means?
I'm not sure.
Imams mean leader. And Muslim means one who submits to God. And Islam means peace, original peace. Not what happening in the Middle East there with all this killing and man and humanity to man. You understand that?
Yes.
Right. What again you were saying?
What stimulated your passion for this?
Yeah. Well, let me tell you something. The first school, when my path, in Princeton and Ivory Village, is about just 3 miles apart. My maternal grandparents used to live in Princeton. So I spent a little time there. So the first school I went to Princeton RC. When I went to the school, I went to there from ABC, the second standard.
Yeah.
And what is to excite me as a child? I'm talking about 7, 8 years old. At the end of the term, they used to do terminal concert. They used to have little skit and some drama and some music and dance and people reciting poetry. Oh gosh, and I said, oh God, I wish I could go on stage too. So you see, that influenced me too.
Yeah.
Right so you see, that's why I see when you have children, expose them to the different disciplines. Music, dance, drama, the sporting disciplines. So it's something bound to appeal.
True.
Because everybody has talent, you know. Every single human being has talent. Don't underestimate that. Talent is a God-given thing. Even among the morons and the imbeciles and the idiots, they all have talent. But talent is like an uncut diamond. It has to be nurtured. It has to be polished.
True.
Right? But everybody is not talented. So if they are sufficiently exposed, something bound to appeal to them.
Yeah.
So as a child, Princeton was a mixed ethnic population. Princeton. They used to have if you know Princeton, they have a square, which was really in the shape of a triangle, but they call it a square. You know? And used to have the Salvation Army with the musical band. And I used to stand up and look at, I know they're playing the drum set, then they have the tambourine, then sometimes they have a trumpet, or again, shakshang, and they play music and asking for donation now, which is that's another thing that people have started the movement that the Salvation Army, the contribution they make, because they here over 100 years, you know. You know, they're collecting, yes. So, but they are, I don't think they never really highlighted. So, that's another kind of music that influenced me. When I was 4, 5, and 6, I used to go to movies. Yeah. And I used to see a lot of musicals and the Indian music. You know? But you don't get not that many musicals in like music at a long time.
True.
Yeah, so that's another influence. Now, if you grew up in the where you from? You from
Pinal?
You from Pinal and you from Las Vegas or something. But you know, in the estate, there's a practice. Every year they have Ramdila.
Yeah.
No, there's a say Ramdila, which is the corruption. But you're right, and this is what when you're in studies you have to lay down. We should say Ramdila, but the word is not Ramdila. Ramdila is a corruption. It's really Ram Leela. Leela means epic or drama of Ram. Ram, which is a kingdom, or one of the gods. Similarly, you have a Krishna Leela too, you know. I imagine you're Christian, right? Krishna Leela, which is another god they worship. So when they say they haven't Ram Leela or Krishna Leela, they mean they haven't something, a drama, dramatized something based on Raman. But we growing up saying Ram Leela. Now you do French, right? So I'll give you an idea how things become corrupted. You know the word bonjour. What bonjour is?
Bonjour is hi, hello.
Right. You say bonjour. Bonjour is J-U-R.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Bonjour. But the part where people say bonjour. Bonjour, mon ami or something. You see? They corrupted. Instead of it, then bonjour.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's say the word maljo. Where does it came from?
I'm not sure, it's French.
It's French. Mal meaning?
Bad.
Right. It came from maljo, M-A-L-J-E-U-X. What is J-U-X in French?
I'm not sure.
Eyes.
Yeah.
Bad eye. So instead of saying, they pronounce it, mal or you, they say maljo. And you could go on there, you'll come across a lot of corruption. Like when I was there, they use the word go. Like when you're doing, later on when you're doing Damarin,
Yeah.
now go tete, go. But go is a corruption of the word G-R-O-S, you know, which means big.
Yeah.
But instead of saying gross, they say go tete.
Yeah.
That go tete is go bundle is big bottom. Go tete is big bus.
Yeah.
And go coco is big text, big step. As we're saying common language, big stones then. Right?
Yeah.
So when they have that thing, you have to study later on the whole Damarin Ballet where all these different characters they imitate the French disabled people. So all of them will come with some deformity and come together and do a dance.
Yes.
Big thing, big bottom, big foot, big knee and all kind of things. That's another folklore. Alright, so you understand why I'm going so far?
Yes.
So what else you going? So yes. So you understand the estate environment.
Yes.
I used to go to the Indian festival and they used to do Jaru and they used to do Indian wrestling, which had dance move with it.
Yeah.
They call it Kusti. I spell it K-S-S-T-I. Kusti is Indian wrestling. They used to have a little string here tied like an X. And so you know what's a dhoti, right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, they have a short version of the dhoti, which is like a trunk thing.
Okay.
And they call that Langoti. You get that?
Yes.
So, and then they have, as for entertainment there, they have the Jaru, which is
Yeah.
a broom dance. They have the thing based on the Ramlila, and they had other dances, Nagara dances and things, which You see a lot of Indians doing dance, but they are not the original Indian folk here, you know.
True.
Because why talk about no. Then they have the Gatka. The Gatka is the one, they have a shield here, it's a stick dance, like so. And that also in dance. The movement, you can make a nice ballet with that. The thing about, I don't have boys to do all of that, that's the point.
Sure.
So I was influenced by all that as a child, growing up. But my father, as I said, was a goldsmith.
Yeah.
We had a little shop in San Fernando. And eventually we migrated to San Fernando. Then I started with a cinema game. Then I went to see show in the Bowl.
Yeah.
Then I went to see show in Queen's Hall. That time, that time when they opened Queen's Hall, it was so colonial. You couldn't go without a suit, But my father had 12 children, I didn't have no suit. So I saw borrow a jacket, and some of the jacket is still going here. Yeah. So pay about $2 or $3 to the town and see a show for about $3. But you had to go with a suit.
Wow.
So I learned, I have no formal training in nothing.
Yeah.
I learned by observation and attending shows. You see, like I talk to you, and I get a program, and sometimes they'll have notes in it, narrative and synopsis. I would gather from that. So you see, you must have that when you come home. When I go to cinema and I hear a big word, like the first time I heard the word euthanasia within a movie.
Okay.
You know what euthanasia is? Oh my God. Euthanasia is mercy killing. Somebody want to die and they say, look, I can't take him and kill me. So they give them some kind of injection. That is euthanasia. Mercy killing. I heard that in a movie. And I came and looked up the dictionary. You see, so education is applying yourself all the time if you want to improve your vocabulary and things like that. Like the first time I heard the word vertigo, I thought it was a Spanish word.
Yeah.
But that was another movie. And you know what vertigo means? Dizziness. That's something to do with the star boy now. He was afraid of heights and things because he get dizzy or something with James Stewart. So I learn a lot of movies. Yeah. But when you see something, you're going up. I go to Indian movies, I don't understand everything. True. And the mistake I make that our grandparents used to talk. My father could have spoken Arabic, Urdu, and Hindustani. But we were so English oriented, we find it was a waste of time. Yeah. So right now we should be able to speak a little bit of Hindustani, some Spanish because of proximity to Venezuela, and
French.
Yeah, we should be able to speak that. But we're so little conceited now. We figure we're so English oriented and compounding this with the Americanization.
Indeed.
And you feel like learning Hindi and things like that. But my father never ceased to amaze me also because he must have left school in third standard. He started when he was 12 years. He got married at 20 years, so my mother was 15 and a half. And they never liked each other because it was an arranged marriage. And they had 12 children. 9 boys and 3 girls. But they eventually, in their own way, are supposed to learn to respect each other and love each other.
Yeah.
So you see, there's so many things in your life.
So, Mr. Mohammed, what organizations did you establish through your passion? Have you established any organizations?
Well, I wasn't before I became involved with ROX, I used to be involved in a guy who used to go over and give a variety show, and I said nothing. Yeah. And then in 1955, some Anglican youths here, associated with St. Paul's Anglican Church on the promenade. The rector at the time was Canon Max E. Farquhar. Yeah. Right? And he was very close to Beryl McBurney. Mm-hmm. I suppose you know who's Beryl McBurney?
Yes, I do.
And they invited her to come and start a class in Caribbean dance. Not a group such as that. That was in March 1955. Now, when I came to live here in San Fernando, they had no Indian group. Right?
Yeah.
So I got wind of the thing and I went and joined. I was the only person of Indian descent. They used to laugh at me. I used to dance in the back and thing. And eventually, that was in March. It started in March 1955.
Yeah.
And as we went down, they decided to form a group. And they called it, Beryl was the founder of the Little Carib.
Yes, it's a Carib
And,
theatre.
and the Arawaks, the Carib and the Arawaks were the Aborigines of Trinidad. So they decided to name the group down here as a counterpart to the Little Carib, Arawaks. So that's how we got the name Arawaks.
So, if I'm right, Arawaks, you are the founder of Arawaks.
I'm a foundation member,
Okay.
which eventually I merged leader one day. And it was by accident. We used to go and do little shows for charity now.
Yeah.
For St. John Ambulance and the Coterie. We just do just for fun. It was just a healthy recreational outlet.
Yeah.
So, because when Beryl come, I used to do the steps at the back,
Wow. Interesting.
Right? Because it's a laugh at me, as an Indian coming to do African thing, it would be a little awkward.
Yeah.
And people would want to laugh at you. Now, let me tell you, make another fundamental point. No ethnic group, people of ethnic background, who would come here from away, dance out of time, when Americans come here or English people come to Carnival, let's dance a little out of time.
Yes.
Now, we dance here to the rhythm section, but they dance to one of the instruments that play.
True.
So it might appear to us that they're dancing all the time.
Yeah.
Now, which ethnic groups have more intricate and very complex movements like Chinese and Indian? You ever did Indian dance?
Yes, I did.
And the footwork and the handling and
Very complex.
Very complex. Right? So it takes concentration and it takes ability and because dance builds up your power of concentration.
Yes.
And anybody would, because you have to know the steps and things. So coming back to that group was formed in 1955.
And from when have you been the foundation leader?
It was a few years after, about 3 or 4 years after.
Okay. And that group is still functional, to
As a matter of fact, we celebrated 60 years this year.
Wow.
Most of the groups in San Fernando, the leaders, were former members of my group.
Okay.
If you want a list later, I will give you. Lucy Regis, Naradas,
Yeah.
she's a dancer. Terry David, you have the group there. Terry David, the secretary of Arawaks, the first secretary was Joyce Curtin. You know Joyce Curtin?
Yes, I know Joyce.
There's of her.
Yeah.
She was a member of Arawaks. She was the first secretary. And she pulled out in 1962 and opened a group called Les Enfants. Right. But she was one of the founders. She was one of the main Anglican personality that was attached to St. Paul's Anglican Church through Canon Mark C. Farker,
Yeah.
who was a South African priest. He was a very aggressive, vibrant person who was also involved in social and political issues because he's a right actor.
Okay.
And he was very close to, he was very supportive to art and culture. And he was very close to Beryl. So, and we used to use, next to the St. Paul's Anglican Church.
Yes, I do, on the promenade.
Next door to that was an old school,
Okay.
an old St. Paul's AC Primary School,
Yeah.
which is now replaced by the one in Harris Street Prolongation. In Harris Street Prolongation, you have some school here.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes.
And but she moved out and opened a group in 1962. Then we have another Eric Butler, a dancer.
Yes.
He moved out in I think in around 1972. Somewhere there, and he opened a group called the Contemporary Dance Company. They wanted to become a little more sophisticated and go into modern and ballet. Nothing was wrong with that.
Yeah.
But at that time people used to frown on people playing pan,
True.
and there's a frown on people doing folk people used to be doing bongo and Orisha and King Sela, and they said, oh, you're tired of doing stupidness and come on now, you're doing shit. Okay, I'll tell you, when you see later on, in Expo 67, we went there for 6 months.
Yeah.
I was a choreographer and a dancer in it. And we did all these folk dances. And we were unique because we couldn't compete with the American contemporary dancers. You couldn't compete with the European English ballet dancers.
Yeah.
So we saw in our pavilion. That was a 6 months thing, and that's another thing you're allowed to do some research on. The Expo 67. Trinidad was part of it. It was a world fair then.
So, from what you're saying, you have mentored a lot of the present
Well,
practitioners.
I don't know if you're going to put it away because some of them don't believe that they learn anything. Some of them will give me credit, some of them. So, Eric Butler, but Joyce Curtin, she former celebrated 50 years last year, I think.
Yeah.
62
years.
62 and 2014, yeah. And but she was also a lecturer in the training college and things. She was also a PA teacher, so she was very good. This girl does some work with Sharon Pay. You know Sharon Pay?
No, I'm not aware.
So she from Hyderabad, Sharon Pay. She just teach
Hyderabad composites.
Hyderabad composite downstairs.
Yeah.
Right. So what I was saying then, Eugene Joseph's wife. Her name was Jessica
Joseph.
Jessica Wyatt. And when we made Expo 67, they had a relation built up. She went as a member of my group, and they came back and they got married the next year. And then she didn't know what to do. Because both of us, they used to have vacation school in UB. Every August vacation for 6 weeks. And I used to teach Caribbean dance and Eugene used to teach Mala. And then a relation began. I was in 1961. And I think we did another one. I don't know why they stopped that class, that vacation school.
Yeah.
Because students come over the Caribbean, even from the States. Because people who were doing dance in Miami colleges, they used to come. So I just teach what I pick up on. When I finished, I choreographed 16 dances, folk dances, you know.
Wow.
And this student from Miami asked me what university I went to. I was so flattered. But this is what I pick up for myself.
True.
Remember, I use the expression, those of us who dare to lead or teach must never cease to learn. So when the earnest came upon me to be a leader, and I didn't push myself leader because I didn't find I was not presumptuous. I didn't find I learned enough. But it just, so when there was a ballet festival being done by elderly people, I go and look at it and I pick up. So I took what I picked. And then when there was a real bongo at a week,
Yeah.
so I went to the local, in the actual place where these things will be held.
So you did
And then I went like when they have an Orisha. Usually we say we're going to a Shango feast.
Yeah.
But it's not really a Shango feast you're going to. You're going to a feast of the Orishas, remember that. Shango is one of the deities, the strongest deity, which is parallel to St. Peter's and St. John. They sing the Orisha movement here. It's a syncretization of Catholicism and paganism that we go with that.
Yes.
I suppose they must come across that.
Yeah.
Right, so they are. So I used to go to look at it, and I want to get a feel because I dance Orisha in Sijari. I'm not, if you follow Orisha, you are an Olorisa. Right?
Yeah.
So that's what I pick up because I want to do my thing, I want to get a feel of the thing. And I want to know I'm doing the right thing. So you pick up the authentic movements.
Yes.
But for choreography, you saw space and you'll add something to that. You'll join it with some other movement.
True.
But because most folk dances, you have 4 or 5 steps, not much.
Yeah.
But you can't do that for 5 minutes, so you have to improvise to join in. Now,
So, Mr. Mohammed, you haven't attended any university per se to study?
no. My university is the University of Adversity. Life itself.
Experience.
When there's a workshop, I might go to a little workshop and look at what's seminar, and it's all alone. Or I go to see a show. If a foreign show come, I would go and I would learn things from them and I'd add it to my repertoire. And I was struggling. If I had 12 children, none of us was working at the time. So, and they're trying to sell everybody to high school and all that. Because when he came to living in San Fernando, was opposed to living in the country. He went bankrupt.
True.
Because you had to buy everything here. But in the village, we had everything. We had land, we had corn land, we had rice land, we had sugar cane and vegetable, and we had fowls, and my maternal grandparents, my grandfather was a butcher, so we were well off in that sense then. Not money-wise, but we were well off within that.
Yeah.
My eldest brother out at 12 just died recently in Superior.
Yeah.
He died at age 89. My father died when he was 93. And they work in the lagoon, which is called the cooler.
Yeah.
Right. And then everybody now, if they get bottled water, they get it. I don't drink bottled water. If I get it, I drink it. But I mean, after that time, we develop, because when you used to go in the garden and thing, sometimes you had to take the water from clean water, not only taps, from the lagoon. So after time, your body develop. And it depends when. In those times, you eating fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
So it all get well for all of us. They grow strong. They were not sickly then.
Yeah.
They were not susceptible to disease. From that perspective.
So, do you think that enough is being done in Trinidad and Tobago for future to develop, should I say, dance?
Yeah, much more to be done. I mean, no matter what you do. They say that the smallest room is a mushroom.
Yes.
But the largest room is a room for improvement. Remember that. I'm also a foundation member of the National Dance Association. It's I who got them together and formed the National Dance Association in 1980. Sometimes they will give me credit, they won't give me credit. I'm also a foundation member of the San Fernando Art Council.
Yeah.
I've celebrated 46 years this year. I've been there since then. So if you look around, maybe I suffer with stubborn loyalty. You understand?
Yes.
They did. I who got the, you see, while individually you could be strong, collectively you would be greater. We thought by coming together, we'd be able to make us stronger, like how the other cultural organizations fighting for our recognition and want more money from government. But we live in a country, from a socio-economic perspective, we live in a country where we spend before saving, we celebrate before achieving, and we come in together separately. Right here, right here. We are the only art fraternity in the whole of the national community in Trinidad and Tobago that has its own art center. You check. Tuku doesn't have. They're renting the headquarters. Pantry Maker doesn't have. After all these years and so much money, they don't have their own headquarters. The Trinidad Art Society, they have another big people. They selling paintings at 100,000, 200,000, all kind of big money. And you tell me they can't buy a building for themselves. The NCC renting a. And we, if you check around, you see that we are the only person with our own center. And it's something we all should be proud of.
Indeed.
But do you think they're proud of it? Yeah, a lot of surreptitious, conniving people there. You see, like a boy emerged the chairman and all the kind of thing. You always feel that they want to suspect you of impropriety. You're taking money, or you're thing, or when they do it, all this is my initiative, The publication officer on the expedition should be doing this.
Yeah.
I don't do this. None of them will take the opportunity. I'm not here to bad talk anybody, but I'm just saying. You want to spread knowledge, you want the people to learn. I didn't have all this in my time.
True.
You understand that?
Yes.
So they have a lot of other groups. I have another group, Reminiscent Dance Company, cultural group. She was a member of my group. They take part in best friend. She dances at school too.
Okay.
And there's about 15 groups in San Fernando whose leaders were once members of the group. When you have time, I could give you a list of them.
I know as the founder of the National Dance Association and also as the chairman presently of the San Fernando Arts Council, what are some festivals or some events that you host, that the San Fernando Arts Council hosts, to bring together dance in Trinidad and Tobago on the way of Sandfest?
All right, when the Arts Council was founded in 1969, right? And one of the aims and objectives was to have a festival every year.
Yes.
And we have never stopped. From the first festival in 1970, which was a senior festival involving everybody.
Yeah.
And as we went along, we introduced the junior festival to accommodate primary and secondary school, because we saw that nothing was being done for that. But when we started with Victoria schools, small.
Yeah.
And as we move along, we invited St. Patrick's School, and then Caroni, and then Southeast, and then Port of Spain School, and eventually Tobago. This took over a period of years, which has now been national.
And this is the National Junior
Arts Festival, which opened to primary and secondary school, like here in the Sandfest. And as we went along, we started with Miss Sandfest first,
Yes.
But I say they're only doing things for girls, they're doing nothing for boys. And that time, you saw all these superficial, cosmetic, ornamental beauty contests.
Yes.
Where they go in there and they put on a thing and well dressed up and makeup. But no woman of substance there. So I emphasized, I said, we would have a Miss Sandfest, and the emphasis was on talent. So if your mark, total mark is 100, 60% must go to talent. The others will go to maybe what you're wearing, intelligence and like that. So as we went along to everybody, nobody is having it. That time we had a lot of JCs and everybody having all this pageant and all, beauty show and all kind of thing. Because sometimes I asked them some simple question they don't know.
Yeah.
So as we move along, I said, but let's include the boys. So that is how
Mr.
Sandfest came in.
And Mr.
Mr. and the Sandfest is open to secondary schools between the ages of 13 and 19.
Yeah.
And the teen talent, as the name suggests, teen talent, 13 to 19.
Nice, really interesting. Mr. Mohammed.
But even some of me people don't understand that.
I know that through being a practitioner even in the dance form and art holistically, you traveled the world.
Well,
What are some countries, whether it be in the Caribbean or international?
After 10 years, just dancing for fun, right?
Yes.
The objective at the time was using dance as a healthy recreational outlet. And one of the objectives was to use Caribbean West Indian dance to spread our culture then. And also, one of the objectives that we must have our own center. That's my group. But eventually we don't have our own center, but we are now a member group of a center, so we accomplished that.
Yes.
Right. But then again, you ask me.
What countries have you visited?
Oh, I was in the yard, I saw in Pleasantville one day. After dancing and everything. You see, if you're good at something, people will try to keep it on, people close to you, family, your friends, we never want to see you move up.
Yeah.
So when they were having a Commonwealth Arts Festival in Great Britain, but Great Britain comprised, what Great Britain comprised?
Yeah.
England, Ireland, Wales, Scotland. So they were having a Commonwealth Festival. on my yard, and somebody come and say that's in 1965. Yeah, 1965. Well, and you're selected to take part. Now, and then you'll have to know what they say later on. Dr. Errol Hill was our dramatist here, tutor. Well, again, because another opportunity, he was teaching at the university in the States. A lot of them went away because they used to get no support and they never get a job to suit their qualification.
Yeah.
See, like when you qualify here, you might have to go and somewhere else and teach.
Yeah.
They were doing a play written by Dr. Errol Hill called Man Better Man, which was based on the stick fight. And he selected people of various ethnic groups because of our cosmopolitan makeup here. So I went to the Indian, I ended up dancing stick fight, and also the choreographer was supposed to be Bearded Bunny, but I did most of the choreography.
Yeah.
The dance and everything. And I was able to get two of my other members to go with me in that. So they had selected people from all over the country. They had somebody, so it was a musical folk drama. You had music, you had dance, and no, I was no big actor, I was no singer. Sometimes I didn't know the whole voice was shallow.
Yeah.
You understand? And so that was a 2-week stint, So we perform in London and we perform in Glasgow. I remember when I trained, the train took 10 and a quarter hours to reach.
Wow.
And we perform but while we had some spare time, I took the opportunity to go and see some live shows. In England is famous that. That's when I saw Sound of Music live. I saw Camelot live. And another play I saw live too. So anytime we get a chance. So that's in 1962. But before that, there was a West Indies Art Festival in 1958, and historically you all should know that. In 1958, they had a West Indian Arts Festival hosted in Trinidad to mark the inauguration of the Federal Parliament. Remember they were trying to federate the West Indies?
Yeah.
In 1958. We were 3 years old, the group. And the little Carib Theatre was assigned to do something on dance. And she recruited some of us to dance in it. So I danced in that. And the big Shakespeare on the stage. If you know the Shakespeare, the one that come down. Yeah. And I danced in that too. 1958. The famous Bosco Ola. Bosco Ola, who died recently. He did a dance. Yeah. What do you mean?
Yes.
Not Bosco, Geoffrey. Bosco and Geoffrey is a dance little crowd.
Geoffrey Holder.
Yeah, Geoffrey, yeah. So what I was saying there, when I was...
When you went to watch the play in England.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the first major overseas thing I went to.
Yeah.
Was in
62?
No, 65.
Okay.
But previous to that, I had taken part in the West Indies Arts Festival in Trinidad.
Yeah.
We danced with in a full-length dance production called Binaka, which was a historical review of all the people from the Aborigines and the African, the Indian, and all the local folk thing within Latin.
Yes.
And she called it Binaka, which is a Carib word for dance. B-I-N-A-K, Binaka. In 1967, I was commissioned to be a choreographer and a dancer to take part in Expo Sigism in Montreal. And we went there for 6 months.
Canada?
Yeah, it's for 6 months. Whatever your salary was here, they would deposit that in your bank for you. And we used to get a per diem of $15 a day to travel and buy your own food. But it worked out well for us because at that time I managed to get 5 and myself, 6 members of my group to go. But we had to pick people from different groups.
Yes.
Cyril St. Louis was one of the choreographers. We joined the choreographers. You know Hazel Franco?
Yes.
Right. He doesn't send it to me.
Hazel Franco was the one who did my CXC dance.
Right. She was on the team. She knows it very well. She said I gave by me last week.
Yeah, actually, she recommended you also.
She did?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that's very nice. But I mean, I had a degree like that. So what I was saying, so that was the exorcism, was a tremendous experience. Because it was a world fair, so then you had the opportunity to see things from all over the world, all the cultural, art and cultural activities. 20th century ballet from Belgium, musical, Hello Dolly, came from the States, African, Russian, you name it.
Yeah.
Because it was a whole fair. And they were there for 6 months in Sudan. So Jessica Wyatt, she was Jessica Wyatt at the time, but she was a member of my group. That was 67. And Eugene was a member of the team. And we used to do 4 shows a day. Between 4:30 and 9:30, we used to do capsules now. And we used to have long lines. See, from OWT, the little theater could have hold 250. So there used to be a rush because of the novelty, because we were different from the other metropolitan people. But when, on part of the expression, when we were going there and we were rehearsing our local folk, some of our contemporaries, they say, "Oh, you're going there to do that shit." They thought we were going to do modern, contemporary and ballet.
Yeah.
Because they're from, we used to suffer from a bad kind of inferiority complex. When people come here, you didn't want to get them your pilau and your sauce and you think, you want to do something, casserole and whatever it is, foreign, with mayonnaise and all this kind of thing. But sauce, even roti. Sometimes we used to go to school with roti and ashamed to bring out the roti. And sada roti is king now.
Yes.
You know that? Sada roti and choka, the tomato choka, baigan choka and all that. And it's all over the place selling that. And you have Afro people selling that now.
True.
And you know what? Another thing, you know what sada means?
No.
Sada means ordinary roti. Sada means ordinary. You ever hear the one called Dosti roti? You never come across that one yet? Okay. Dosti roti is two loaves, 2 things together. They cook 2 roti at one time. And when they finish, the way they're structured, they come out with 2 roti instead of one. Instead of one, they 2 bakes there. Flat roti like this, almost like a sada roti, but much thinner. Why it is called dosti? Because in Hindustani, dos means friend. So dosti is, friendly.
Yeah.
So you see how significant, how things emerge. It makes interesting study.
True.
Right.
I know that you're also an active member of the committee at the management team, I should say, at the Candace Clark Academy of Dance.
Well, I don't know what category she put me in, but the first time we really met was I was trying to revive the National Dance Association, which was almost defunct. And Hazel Franco was the president, and she couldn't get people to come out for the annual general meeting, and they had invited me to help revive it. And then I met, and unconstitutionally we revived it, because we didn't have a quorum. And then it started back again. And then I met Candace, and Candace was, I think, at that time I was, they had voted me president again. And then I think she was secretary too. But they other than they like Candace, Candace actually weighs in. But Candace is a very resourceful person. For she to run a school with 135 children,
Yeah.
How many of them you see doing that? And her work is different from the other people. She don't copy from other people.
True.
You know, I mean, if you understand.
Very artistic.
Yeah, we had to give her credit for that. So we become close. And the year after that, they had Curry Fest, and we did a joint thing together. As a matter of fact, the members thought we were friendly, we were intimate. They started spreading rumor that Torrance and Candace and T. They started we were just friends. And since that, the rest is history. So she at that point she but she got to know a little bit of my background thing, and whenever she had anything, she would come with advice. So I have more in advice capacity. I know what. She don't do anything without calling me or telling me or asking me anything. So then she
You've also done a few tours with her?
I went to
Jamaica?
Jamaica with her. Where I went to again? I was supposed to go to I went to Jamaica with her. Somewhere else, I don't know.
New York, Alvin Ailey?
No, that year I was supposed to go with her. Something happened. One of my dancers went to Madonna. Yeah, but she's very social, judge. And I mean, like everybody else, they have their little peculiarities and things.
True.
But you see, we are not here to be judgmental. We all have imperfections. We all have strengths and virtues and faults and weaknesses. What you do, you strive for the rest of your life to improve on your weakness and things. You don't get presumption and feel that's how I am. I never try to improve. So we are not here to pass judgment. First of all, we must be self-critical and self-analytical. Look at yourself in the mirror first before you go there. Before you go there to criticize anybody. And one thing, I was married 3 times. But to my wife eventually died. One died very young with cancer. And but they catch hell with me. And I will tell you from what perspective. They were good wives. The first wife was very good. They were very dear to me. When after we divorced after 20 years, she went to live in Canada with my daughter.
Yeah.
And when she died 2 years ago, I held a service here for her. Because a woman is God gift to man.
Sure.
If you treat that woman right, you have a friend for life. Because you could be married to somebody. Or you're lying down there and having children. But you're still not friends. There's a difference. But what happened? When I was so involved, you was in 11, 12, before you go to serve community, make sure that your domestic situation it's all right. Don't neglect your family or your children or your thing. I'm going out there to serve community.
Yeah.
You understand? And I was so involved that somebody waiting for me. We had one daughter waiting for me with the car, and I reached there and when I finished a rehearsal, I had to drop somebody Oyoho. I reached home 1 o'clock in the night. Yeah. Then it burst out like if I was friendly with somebody else and that language. So it turned out. And then I was struggling as an insurance man. So I ended up with 2 hours.
True.
Old car and a nagging wife. No, not that she wasn't a good wife.
Yeah.
You understand? And, but we had an amicable thing and we remained good friends. And when I go to see my daughter and thing in Toronto, she would cook for me and she would wash my clothes and things.
But do you think that enough is being done in Trinidad to preserve the dance culture for future generations? What do you see?
They only use dance here conveniently. You see, a Calypsonian or a Steelman people, they come to see any show?
No.
Right. So they would use it now to enhance the soca competition or the thing. They don't give it, they don't support dancers otherwise. One of the reasons why we aspire to build this art center, because there was a scarcity of rehearsal spaces. You could have theaters, right?
Yeah.
You could have Naparama Bowl, you could have Sapa South, you have Napa North, you have Queen South. How many? Look at Candace, for instance. She had a struggle, and now she decided to be alone in the studio.
Yeah.
So there was always a lack of rehearsal spaces. So we said we must have a home that you want to come to rehearse, you want to open at 1 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock, you have a place that belongs to you. And that is one of the things that prompted us to have our own center. Because if you know, right now, let me give an example of two aspects of it. The community centers supposed to be for the people in the community, you know.
Yeah.
But they have the wrong people running it. They don't have no patience with the young people, and the young people don't have no patience with the elderly. So you have polarization. Most of the people in the executive in this thing are elderly people. But they have to mix it.
Yeah.
The community centers, and then the race for using it is very nominal. It's a little thing, you know. But other than they can't get rehearsal space. Look, I will say, she's from Pinal, I mean Siparia. If the situation was more conducive and she rehearsal, she'd come here, and she's doing extremely well. She has a big class.
Yeah.
Secondly, when you're doing your thing, you must remember this. In the 70s, when Dr. William was still alive and he was Prime Minister, and they built these composite schools and these secondary schools with a big stage.
Yeah.
A big stage for gym and for thing. You know what was the concept there? The concept was that the principal and the teachers would take the initiative and make it theatrical. Put wings, put backdrop, and put theatrical lights. And yet, how many of them did that?
Very few.
I'm talking about 1970. How many years is that? And all of them still naked, still barren.
45.
In other words, you put on a show in San Fernando, you say, look, I'm taking my show to Faisal. I'm taking my Point 40 College, they have it.
Yeah.
And like how you have in the Signal here. So you'd have had little theatres all over the place. But they never developed it. There was always this gimme thing now. Mm-hmm. You want going on through everything. Most of these secondary schools, they have trade shops. So you tell me they couldn't do it as exercise to build prompts, to build ramps, to build wings.
Yeah.
You understand the point I'm making? Sometimes they give you a place, you want the city corporation to clean it when you should be cleaning. That's how we are.
True.
We in this dependency syndrome thing.
Clearly, you've been working rather assiduously. So, what are some challenges? Because what are a few challenges you've faced while pursuing this dance field?
Well, I'm coming from a big family.
Yeah.
My parents When he came to live here, none of us. I was an apprentice and I lost my job in Point of Pear. After elementary school, I went to a technical school, the first technical school in this country I went to.
Yeah.
It was on the wharf. The one that they call Old Tech?
Yes.
That's the second one. That's not the first, The one that we went to prompted them to do. The other one was in a house. That's another historical thing that people know.
Yeah.
You do a 2-year course, then you work as 5 years in one of the oil field to become a journeyman, to become a skilled worker. And I was supposed to be an electrical engineer, but I didn't finish my apprenticeship. I was suspended indefinitely for some stupid, puerile, boyish thing,
Yeah.
I think one time a guy hit me and I hit him back. And I was around 15 now. And they usually, when somebody hit you, hit them, I was on a knife and like how they do now with gun and knife and thing. And at that time, it was Trinidad Lisol,
Yeah.
then Tesoro, and now Petrogen. At that time, the highest a black man could have reached in the work syndrome there. Okay, was foreman, all the people in supervisory capacity used to come expatriates from England. So the supervisor and the personal manager and all of them were English people, It's afterwards when Eric Williams came on the scene, and become Texaco. Started the black people started to get jobs then. When I say black people, I mean Indian and Afro then.
But have you ever considered leaving the art form or leaving the dance field to pursue another field?
No, I was simultaneous. The thing was, you couldn't earn a living by dancing. You couldn't, that was so remote. So you had to get a job.
Yeah.
I ended up selling life insurance.
Still do that presently?
Although I retire officially,
Okay.
I have never stopped doing anything. I have been doing for the last 50 years. If you understand what I'm saying? Because a lot of people associate retirement as sitting down in a rock or a hammock and just lazing. But and they die very early because they're not mobile.
Yeah.
Because it keeps me going now. The day you stop, you're dead.
So how old are you, Mr. Mohammed?
Me? Come up to work 84.
Wow. Interesting.
Huh? We have two ages, you know. Remember this?
Age of
You remember this
experience.
line? One is chronological, and one is more physical or mental. If you live good, right? Eat good, sleep good, drink a lot of water, and you're nice and friendly, jovial with people, you don't discriminate,
Yeah.
you age graciously and gracefully. But to put it bluntly, if you're a bitch and bad-minded and big negative one thing, you age rapidly. So when you're 20, you're looking like 60. A lot of people remember that I don't know my age.
True.
Right? I'm not saying I've kept myself very well, but I keep going all the time.
Yeah.
What I do, you know, the things I involved in, people half my age don't do.
So true.
There was an old thing that we had, an old quotation. The will does it, and perseverance wins. Always remember that. And you see, people, and you listen to how you listen to it. What are the most important ingredient of life? Or the most important asset in life? It's so obvious that you take it for granted. It's people. People. Because we are interdependent on each other. Don't frown on the scavenger because you're not going to scavenge.
Yeah.
So you say, hey, how you going, man? Be nice to him. You see a police, good afternoon, constable. And sometimes if I say a constable, I say, how you going, sergeant? I inflate him a little bit, make him feel important. You go by the mall, you see the security man there. You say, good afternoon, captain. It's all right. You know what I mean? Make everybody feel. You understand the point I'm making? Make them. We underestimate the value of human relations. When you're doing communication, nobody better than that. You might have a better job, you might be more educated. But I mean, when you have conscience, have a heart and your soul, you know, you could be superficially beauty. But your inner being might be nothing.
Mr. Torrance, how far do you think dance can take an individual? How far, in your opinion, do you think dance can take an individual?
Can take what?
An individual. How far do you think an individual could go?
Well, it depends on an individual. I mean, apart from having talent, the dancer must have a working capacity, a keen sense of observation and discipline. Those are 4 ingredients, right? In a country as ours, because of our cosmopolitan background, you want to be an expert in what we're doing here.
Yeah.
And not because we're an island, we think small. There's not if you want to improve by doing contemporary work and also classical ballet. So you could become an international dancer. You could go abroad and you could. But you must always have something that you could fall back on professionally. And even because like footballers, when they finish and they get a foot break up. If they didn't do a course in coaching or training or in administration or in physiotherapy, you must have something to fall back on. Let good sense prevail. I'm from a background, my father was a goldsmith, and I still trade. People come to me to get things done, because so that's like a sideline. Yeah. Nothing you do must go to waste. So there's a lot of scope nationally and locally, but it depends on the individual to see how they could manage the physical aspect of, I think, the academics. Yeah. Because later on when you reach 40 and 50, you want to be a lecturer or anything.
So you see dance as a thriving industry for young people?
Yeah, they could. But you not because, we're surrounded by water, you must miss the boat. So you got to think big, number one, we are citizens of the world. And secondly, we are creatures of the university. So whatever you do, you think big. I never thought for one moment that I would have been going to India. And I forget to tell you, in 1972, I went as a producer, director, choreographer, and a dancer to another trade fair, the Swiss Fair in Lausanne in 1972. And there were dancers from that group, which came from 11 dance companies in Trinidad. Yeah. I did the choreography of that. But we did folk thing, only folk thing, Horopo, King Sailor, you name it, Aborigines and all that. Yeah. We did that in Switzerland. And that year they sent a whole carnival band and a steel band. The first time in Switzerland, steel band was on the road there. You will see her, and they are very conservative people. When you are traveling a bus, you don't even cough. And then, that was another experience in 1972 in Switzerland. I went to the Black Arts Festival in 1977. That's another historical thing.
And where was that held?
That was held in Lagos, Nigeria.
Okay.
And I went, last year I went on my own together with Eugene and them to South Africa. And that was a very good experience. So, you know so much about Africa. Yeah. It's a love division, You considered in Africa black. Like both of us, they consider us colored. So you have the black, the colored, and the white. And they have land in oceanic proportion, plenty land, why it is not cultivated in or used for factories. Somehow my feeling that they don't want to encourage more white intervention. You can understand, but they contribute for it. So you see, travel is education. Yeah. Whenever you get the opportunity, you go and see a new island. I've been to Cuba 3 times, but I've never been to Haiti. I was already Haiti. I'm going to go to St. Martin. And the Cayman Islands, I've been to that as well. But I've been to most of the other islands. And wherever I go, I try to learn something with them. Yeah. You understand the capacity, you must have that mindedness to want to learn, to add to your repertoire.
Indeed. So lastly, Mr. Torrance, what advice would you give to young people who want to pursue the dance as an art form or dance as a career? What advice would you give to young people?
Well, first beginning, you must remember your health is your wealth. So you have to prepare yourself. There's a little acronym.
Yeah.
SPICES. SPICES. S is you have to be spiritually prepared, mentally prepared. Now spiritually, SPICES. Spirit. You have to be spiritually prepared, right? Mm-hmm. Physically prepared, intellectually prepared, and culturally prepared, and emotionally. Yeah, and also socially. You have to become a social animal. You have to be prepared for that, and you must have an alternative later on that you could, out of the field of dance, that you could either become a choreographer, artistic director, a teacher.
Yeah.
So it all lies within you, your scope then, how you could approach things and still maintain a balance so you live comfortably. And whether you get, as a woman, you get married or not, make sure that you meet, man and woman make for each other. They must respect you, teach you. There must be no monopoly, and you must not subject yourself to them, that you become like subservient in the house.
Yeah.
Right? There must be respect and understanding. Because the men, young men, the men are looking for women now, who have car, and when they have house, you know what happens? They become leaners. So you have to be wary of that. If you come together and you're doing things jointly, fine.
True. But
don't let nobody know, in your case, monopoly of it. Have any monopoly in it. Yeah. Okay? So that's a thing that an individual I look at. I look at it currently, and remember that you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Okay? And there's nothing like luck. We say, oh, God, why unlucky? Luck is preparation meeting opportunity. So you're preparing yourself in all these areas here. So when you meet, you're going for a job.
Yeah.
You would have finished your OCAs and maybe you have a degree. Your academic career. Right? But now to get a good job, you have to be computer literate, you have to keep up with the technology.
Sure.
So when you go there, you prepare yourself, and when you get the opportunity, you're ready for them. So that it's preparation meeting opportunity. So prepare yourself for all time. Right? Prepare for yourself for the good, the bad, the indifferent, and for disappointment. There's no utopia then. You know what is utopia?
Yeah.
There's no ideal situation in life. Don't ever expect that. Right? The mind is a playground for many ideas.
True.
But if you go around giving people peace of mind, you don't have no mind at all. So the mind, the body, your soul, all that has to be in tandem with that. So you'll be spiritually, mentally equipped for anything.
Mr. Mohammed, I want to thank you very much.
You got everything you wanted?
Yes, I've gotten everything.
You sure?
Yes.
I don't mean to go out because it's difficult for me to do things.
Thank you very much for your time and your wealth of knowledge.
No, that is not a little bit. Yeah.